This is the Monday meeting at the Baltimore County Council meeting where I asked for my property, where I asked my representatives to defend my rights. But our elected officials got Jim Crow justice and white supremacy where they protecting Scott Shellenberger. They know that the man committed a crime. They know that they did wrong by me, and they know that they did wrong to me, but they won't do nothing to defend me. Now, right over here, it's Pamela Woods. She works for the Baltimore Sun. And the Baltimore Sun participated in this because when they locked me up, the Baltimore Sun was calling me a terrorist. So the Baltimore Sun ain't going to report this part of it. This is the other half of what happened to me. And like I said, I'm a prisoner's right advocate. And I'm not going to stop till I get what belongs to me. I get 3 minutes. So I'm going to use these 3 minutes wisely. And I'm going to use 3 minutes every month for the next 6 months. And I'm going to turn this into a documentary about being black in Baltimore County. And I'm going to show the county executives and how they protect white supremacy and their seats of power.
Signed up prior to the meeting with the Secretary is allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Secretary, are there any speakers signed up for this evening? And I do see we have Mr. Dwayne Davis. If you would like, please.
That's me right there.
3 minutes to speak. It's good to see you, sir.
I'm here I use my 3 minutes for you to answer the questions that I asked you at the last county meeting. I asked you if blacks have any rights in which white people respect. Y'all were talking about veterans. I'm an honorably discharged veteran. My father's an honorably discharged veteran. You turn around and look behind you. They won't show you my face and my picture. Equality and liberty under the law is the foundation of the government of a free people. So if you are standing for those rights and you protecting veterans, then you as my council representatives need to answer the questions that I asked y'all about my rights and my property and my standing pertaining to my false imprisonment by Scott Shellenberger. Councilman Jones promised me an answer. You promised me an answer, and you didn't give me one. I haven't got one.
Well, I figured I'd see you tonight.
You know I'm coming. So until I get an answer, I get 3 minutes every month or every time I come here. My property was stolen, and the property that was stolen was a film that I was doing about the politics in the state of Maryland. So if I got to come here every month and use those 3 minutes until I get 60 minutes to show our voters how our government works and how they defend our rights, I defended my country. Are you going to defend me? I want to answer. I still got 1 minute and 35 seconds for y'all to answer my question about my property. I just came from, I'm going to add this. Last week I gave you a writ of certiorari. This is from Judge Cox. And Judge Cox said that she can't get involved because I haven't been given a case number or you know what I'm saying, a docket number. Now that docket number is being blocked by the state's attorney's office. I'm supposed to have my rights protected if he likes me because I'm black or not, if he likes me because of my politics or not. You know what I'm saying? You can't block me access to equal representation or access to the court because of the color of my skin or my politics. So I take an answer from all of y'all.
Councilman Jones?
Yeah, Mr. Davis, first of all, I feel, last week or a couple of weeks ago, I told you I would look into your situation. And I did. I spoke with Scott Shellenberger. And I'm not going to go into all the details here because some of this is your personal information. But
you can.
Well, you know.
You can.
To make a long story short, as I understand it, it was very unfortunate. But from what I understand, we do not have possession of your property.
It's not about the property. See, that's where we have a misunderstanding. I got a letter from the controller's office asking for an audit, and the audit ain't got nothing to do with the property. This audit has to do with identity theft. It has to do with identity theft. The pack that I gave you had to do with identity theft and fraudulent checks. That's what this case has to do with that I gave y'all last week, the one that I'm talking about. I know I ain't gonna never get my property back. But the property that they talking about was evidence for a case. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
I'm not going to get the property back. I understand that. I'm not asking for the property back. I'm asking for my right to access the grand jury for the case that I presented in front of the Baltimore County Police Department and Scott Shellenberger over 4 months ago.
Well,
As far as like forgery, check card, those type of things. That's what I'm asking about.
well, let me just say this, not to get into a lot of detail here, because I don't think it's beneficial to hold everybody up. But from what I understand, everything that happened to you, you had your
No, I did not.
and you went to court.
And I went. Day in court, I got fucked around in court. Scott Shellenberger testified at this. This was a civil case. What I'm in here for is a criminal case because crimes was committed. I was in another state. I was in the state of Illinois, locked up in the Department of Corrections in Illinois, and Jay Davis, James Hammond wrote checks in my name, in my business account. They grossed over $200,000 and no taxes was paid. That's what this case is about. And they trying to make you lose you in some bullshit. Won my case.
And you lost your case.
No, sir.
And to make a long story short, you don't have your property, and it's very unfortunate. And I really feel bad based on everything he told me, but it's unfortunate.
How you gonna feel bad about something when the state participated in the fraud? This ain't no different than the Duke lacrosse team. Nafong knowingly lied to the public and filed those false charges against those white boys. The only difference between those white boys and me is they family got money and they sued Nafong and they got Nafong disbarred. I want the same justice. Scott Shellenberger is protecting white supremacy, and I'm gonna come there every month until you do something about white supremacy in your county government.
Unfortunate series of events that occurred.
You're gonna go to
coming here every day is not going to. We are powerless to do anything about it. I guess.
But you went to the
point.
source of the problem to ask the problem when they created it. You're supposed to go. Those are my rights. Like I said, I didn't ask you to go about my property. I asked you about a current case that's sitting in the office that I filed in August. That's what I asked you about. I know I'm not going to get my property. I'm not asking for my property. I'm asking for access in the court, and I'm asking you to do your job that you took a sworn oath to, the same way that I took an oath to. Like I said, I'm going to come back here until y'all do something, or I'm going to show the public how we are treated as individuals, because I'm asking for my rights to approach the court on stolen checks and fraud from the court.
But you know we are not the place to do that.
But I can't go to Scott Shellenberger because he's the problem. So who am I supposed to? You got executive, legislative, and judicial branches of the government. The county executive just came here and spoke on those. It's called checks and balances. I'm asking you to use your power as your branch of government to protect my rights. Is that understandable?
Mr. Davis, if I could, we have talked to our legal counsel, both our county attorney and also our county attorneys in reference.
And your county attorneys are the ones that wrote the subpoenas to block the subpoenas to address this issue in the past.
Well,
so again, this is not about them. This is about y'all.
Right. But what I would say, and I'm also concurring with Councilman Jones, is I think there's the Attorney General Grievance Committee, if I'm not mistaken.
Attorney General Disciplinary Committee? Is there a disciplinary committee?
There's other avenues that you can look at. There's a clear separation of powers between the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and we have our own.
So who holds the judicial branch accountable? I'm asking you.
I think it's through the courts. I think it's through.
But who holds the courts accountable?
That's the judicial branch. This is the legislative branch. We make the laws.
And those laws in which you wrote are victims' rights laws, and those victim rights laws have been violated by those courts. So who holds those victim right laws in which you legislated and created to protect my rights? That's what I'm asking. Y'all wrote the laws, and you just admitted that you wrote the laws. So who protects my rights at the laws that you wrote?
We didn't write them all.
Councilwoman Bevins?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Well, I'll be back.
We'll see you
We're
soon.
gonna keep looking till you decide that you want to protect my rights or tell me something. This is what being black in Baltimore County is, all right? This dismissive. They don't want to hold their own accountable. They finding ways not to protect your rights by going to their lawyers to talk about cases to protect them. So who holds our government accountable to the people? Because that's your newspaper right there, Pam Woods, and she ain't said a word, don't want to talk to me, won't even look me in the eye. That's the lawyer right there. You got white supremacy and black faces carrying out a white agenda in Baltimore County, and it's just that simple. White and black carrying out a white supremacy agenda. When you could take a black man's property, when you can incarcerate a black man, when you can just do whatever you want to a black man and nothing is done about it. That's what you call Jim Crow laws and Jim Crow justice. Sorry, don't get it. So like I said, I'll be there every month to do whatever I got to do until I get what belongs to me, until blacks are treated accordingly.
Who's my fan?
You feel me?
All of a sudden, I was like, oh,
there you go, right there, every month. And I'll be back there the first of the month. I'll be back there on Monday, as a matter of fact, at 6:30. You feel me? Being black and white, Baltimore County. Dred Scott, we ain't got no rights. Corinne Gaines ain't got no rights. And that's how you sitting here filling up the Baltimore County Detention Center with blacks, Hispanics, and poor whites. Like I said, you got the fight on your hands. And I'm going to be there.